So let's first start with what SEO even is. So in its most simplest form, SEO is the method of improving and optimizing your website so that search engines and now AI tools can understand and recommend it. When you search for something in Google or in AI tools, it's not just by chance what the results are that come up. Those results come up because of SEO's strategy and the work that somebody's put in to be able to make sure that that answer really matches the intent of the user and answers the question as best as it can. So what does SEO even mean, or what does it even stand for? Well, before AI existed, SEO stood for Search Engine Optimization, and it primarily applied to Google, and it still does today. And the reason why is that Google still owns the majority share of search. While AI tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity are gaining popularity, Google is still the king as of right now. So making sure that you do search engine optimization for Google is still incredibly important and should be at the top of your priority list. Now, AI search is changing this traditional meaning because AI is not just looking at one search engine like Google was, it's looking at a myriad of sources to get you the best answer in the conversation that you're having with it. So because of this new paradigm shift, there is a new meaning evolving with SEO. And that change is that instead of it being search engine optimization, it's now search everywhere optimization. And the reason for this is that the new way that AI is able to parse and grab information and give you the answer is it is now looking at a myriad of different platforms. So making sure that you're SEO optimized on those individual platforms is going to help you have a better chance of coming up in those AI search tools, as well as in Google's new AI overviews and AI mode. So the idea of SEO has just simply expanded to more than just Google. But remember that Google is still the king, and everything that you do for Google is going to automatically help out those other AI search tools as they backbone off of Google for a lot of their results. And the easiest way for me to explain that is to think of SEO as kind of like a library. Before AI search came to the picture, all of the content that you would write on your website and in your content marketing was essentially the book that you were putting into the library. And then SEO, or search engine optimization, was the way to help Google to know where your book was so that it could point people to your book. But now, with the introduction of AI search, which is already included inside of Google with their AI overviews and their AI mode, has changed the game a bit. Instead of asking Google where the answer is, Google is now just giving you the answer in its AI overview. It's the same thing as if you were to ask a librarian a question, and instead of telling you to go find the answer in the book, they're just going to tell you the answer from the book right there. So the difference here is that the search everywhere optimization is allowing the librarian or Google or AI to be able to retrieve the answer from your content to give the answer to that person. Now, the downside to this is that websites aren't getting as much traffic as they used to, but it's still incredibly important to make sure that you're being mentioned by the AI, because this builds branding, trust, and authority to the people who are asking the questions to learn more about your brand and look at you as an authority in the space. So this leads us to an important question. Does AI use SEO? And the answer is absolutely. AI doesn't work without SEO. And the reason why is that AI summaries, the things that come up in AI overview or your conversations with ChatGPT, are all trained on optimized content. Another reason is that AI trains off of Google results. And the reason why is that Google has built a 20-year business fine-tuning what type of content is good and what the best answers are for questions. So why would ChatGPT and Perplexity and all of these platforms reinvent the wheel when it's already been created for them? It's well documented that other AI tools go to Google first to find out what the best results are that Google thinks are to answer the question, and then goes from there. After it looks at what Google says, it then goes out and looks at the credibility or the citations that exist out online that also point to your content as being the answer. And none of that could happen without good SEO or search everywhere optimization. So now let's go over what the core components of SEO are. Number one is on-page SEO, which simply means the content that exists on your website. So to make sure that your content is well optimized, you have to do good keyword research. And once you've done the keyword research and have found keywords that are relevant to the content that you're creating, you want to make sure that you're targeting keywords that have a high search volume per month, but a low competition value. And once you've found those keywords, you then need to optimize the content on your website pages. This helps Google to match the user intent and the user query with the content on your website. And then the third component of on-page SEO is query fan out. Query fan out is just a special way of saying how AI looks at a question and comes up with a bunch of sub-questions that it's trying to answer. And this matters because in the SEO days before AI search, it was really important to answer one specific question with content in order to be able to come up on Google. But with the introduction of AI systems, even inside of Google, this has changed. These AI models are really trying to make sure that they have all the information to be able to answer not just one question, but several sub-questions that are related. So if we apply this to the series that we're making right now, you might have found this video with the first query of what is SEO? But then your next natural question would be, how does it work? And another question could be, why does it matter? And how do I apply it to different platforms? So it's kind of taking you down a journey, and you want to make sure that you have all of those fanned out content queries and questions that you're thinking about to make sure that you fill all the content gaps on your website to answer all of the relevant questions that you can think of in order to make sure that you have the best chance to be cited in AI search results. So where SEO all starts is on your own website, right? Making sure that you've done good keyword research, making sure that you've optimized your content, and making sure that you've written content that answers the main questions as well as the sub questions that somebody would have about the information that you provide. So the second component of SEO is the things that are optimized outside of your website or across the web. So this would be things like mentions. Now, this is a strategy, right? Like we all would hope that somebody would just naturally mention our brand across the web, but there are strategic ways to be able to get mentions to your brand to help optimize these AI models as well as Google to make sure that you are coming up as a credible, trustworthy source. Backlinks is another really important signal that Google has used for many, many years and continues to use today. A backlink is simply when someone else online links back to your website. And the more links that you have from different places online, the better a signal that is to Google that you are a trusted and credible source. And AI also uses these signals to make sure that the information that they're showing is credible and trustworthy. So now let's move into the third component of SEO, which is technical SEO. These would be things like making sure that your website is mobile friendly and responsive. And the reason for this is that most people use their mobile devices to search the web. So if your website doesn't look good on mobile, it's not going to be ranked high on Google or in AI search platforms. Another technical thing to focus on is the headings, tag, and schema markup in your web pages. And while that sounds complicated, it's actually not. You'd be surprised how many websites we look at when we help clients that don't even have proper H1, H2, or H3 structure in their content. Using H1s and H2s and H3s are incredibly important because it helps Google and AI search platforms prioritize the sections of content as well as what's included in there. Making sure that you have proper tags and schema is also important, but that's made incredibly easy with plugins these days, especially if you're using a platform like WordPress. Schema markup is also becoming more important with the AI search era, especially for things like FAQs, where you have sections on your website that answer questions. So now let's move into some common SEO myths and misconceptions. Myth number 1, SEO is dead. Like I said, none of this works without SEO. So while some of the old school practices of SEO might be dead, SEO is just simply evolving in this world of AI search. Another myth is that you can trick AI with just keyword stuffing your content. This doesn't work, and it hasn't worked for a really long time. One of the really cool, unique things about AI and the AI that Google's integrated into its systems is that it is incredibly smart. And it's smart because it's understanding the intent and the context and the semantics of the language that's in your content. It can see right past spamming your content by putting the keyword in there a whole bunch of times to have a high keyword density. And now if you do that, your content will actually be penalized and it won't come up in search results. So keyword stuffing doesn't work, and it hasn't for a really long time. So don't do it. The third myth is that SEO is a one-time setup. SEO is just like anything else in marketing or running a business. It requires constant effort and constant attention because the web is always changing every single day. Just like every day in your business, your competitors are competing with you every single day. This is why it's really important to rinse and repeat the core principles of SEO, which have to do with your on-page, off-page, and technical SEO work. And by doing this, you're going to be able to stay competitive on the web. So to sum up this section, SEO is still about helping people find your content. AI is just changing how that happens. In the next video, we're going to go over how SEO works in the world of AI search and what you can do to make sure that your content is ranking. So click the next video and we'll see you over there.